I actually really enjoy this course, the Capstone course, which is kind of the culmination of everything you learn in the concentration. And I think what I enjoy about it is taking everything that we've learned kind of in the more conceptual, like knowledge-based area and being able to implement it like more tangibly on campus, I think is something that's really cool and unique about this.
I feel like this is the most connected I've felt with UT and feeling like I am leaving the school better than I found it. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help for future students coming in, and that feels really important.
I think a lot of the times we see the issues and we want to do something about it, but we do not know how to. But this Capstone project has given us the outline, the steps, the project, the tools to fix those issues and to make a better impact in our community.
My project is a student forum for professor misconduct. So essentially, it's just supposed to be an online forum where students can anonymously share their experiences with professors. A lot of Black students I know for sure, because a lot of my peers have experienced microaggressions, and I'm sure a lot of minority students have in the classroom, that paired with sexual misconduct and just overall, I guess what you could call carelessness in a classroom environment. And I think for students, because we are kind of bound to the classroom, we can't just choose to bow out really of a class. It can be really harmful to students' mental health to be forced to succeed in a learning environment where they don't feel safe and where they feel on edge and uncomfortable. So I think the forum would just be a space where students could kind of safely talk about their experiences and learn about the experiences of other students with different professors. And I think it would be a sort of indirect means of holding professors accountable, because if they know that there will be some record of their behavior, I think it may incentivize more conscious behavior and speech in the classroom. So that's the gist of my project.
My project is basically exploring the perspectives of LGBTQ students within the College of Natural Sciences through a sort of mixed methods research study. And so I am utilizing data from a prior campus-wide campus climate survey, and also doing focus groups with LGBTQ students in the college to inform recommendations for policy and practice. Basically, like LGBTQ identity as it intersects with STEM is oftentimes like invisibilized and not something that is actively affirmed. And so that, at least in the focus groups and the data that we have currently, is something that is very much in line with that. And so being able to provide recommendations that are student informed in terms of what support structures would really be effective for their learning and for affirming their work in the college, I think is kind of like the gist and like the goal of my project.
Graduate and graduate students in chemistry and Title I elementary school students here in Austin, with the long-term goal, of course, of helping spark interest in STEM at a young age, providing role modeling, and hopefully guiding more people towards STEM, chemistry, and allied fields in the future.
My capstone project is an educational workshop on the deaf and hard of hearing community. And it's because I am unilaterally deaf. I have something that's called sudden sensorineural hearing loss. So essentially what happened is, woke up one morning, random morning, and discovered that I was permanently deaf in one ear without experiencing any previous signs or symptoms. And that caused me to be thrust into the deaf and hard of hearing world quickly. And I had to just learn how to be accustomed to only hearing out of one ear and just everything that the deaf and hard of hearing entails. I had to become accustomed and more familiar with that very rapidly. And while I was learning that for myself, I realized that a lot of my hearing peers don't know a lot about the deaf and hard of hearing community, as I was still learning more about it. So I thought, okay, well, as I'm learning more about this community, because I was thrust into it so quickly, I think that my hearing peers would also want to learn more about this community as well. So I was able to get in contact with a mentor who has had a lot of experience with working in the Texas School for the Deaf and just special education. And I was able to create a whole workshop in terms of how to educate people about the deaf hard of hearing community as far as allyship, education.
So my project is trying to introduce more of a mentorship role within the FIG program that already exists. And hopefully it'll give students a resource to reach out to and ask questions that they're afraid to ask, like faculty members, and hopefully create a more equitable experience for people that don't have like a family member or an older sibling that can help them through this process of school.